I always explained in screenwriting classes for television that it is a collaborative medium, and you have to learn how to collaborate. And that collaboration, despite what you will read in the horror stories, does not mean that somebody destroyed your work. It means, in many cases, that they improved it. And that when I was teaching before the term showrunner was so prominent, I would say there is an executive producer. That producer has, in many cases, started as perhaps a writer's assistant, or perhaps started as, I know, started as a writer, became a head writer, had, while writing for other shows, always had ideas of his or her own show, and finally reached a point of sufficient influence to sell that show and get it made, and they do own part of it, and they are in charge. So everybody's script is going to go through their typewriter. You know, I still like to use that term. Everybody's script is going to be overseen by that producer, that executive producer, and now showrunner. In that sense, I would say, and even when we did call it the producer's medium, as I said earlier, all of those people had been writers. So you could say that it's a writer's medium, and maybe that's why showrunner works, because we know they're writers, but they do have all of that executive producer obligation. They've got to deal with the budgets. They've got to deal with casting. They've got to deal with all these other people at the network, whether it's HBO or NBC. They have to deal with somebody who is overseeing them. And I would try to explain. There are executives called current, and there are executives who are on your show. And they will also look at your script, and they will see what's there. And as one of my former students who's a successful writer says, I don't like these network executives sitting on my show. If they could do what I do, they would make as much money as I do. But I tried to explain that all of this collaboration is there, but that somebody is the linchpin, and that is the showrunner. I would be perfectly comfortable calling it a writer's medium now, because I think so many people talk about the quality of the writing. And as I say, perhaps showrunner is a kind of middle ground between the producer and the writer. But somebody has to do some of that work, and it's hard work.